Welcome back to another episode of Gaston Spotlight. I'm your host, Sydney Samansky, and today we're welcoming two guests who are local filmmakers. Welcome Christian Fralick and Chris Brown.
Thank you for having us.
How you doing?
Good. As a business, what kind of work do each of you typically do?
For our business, basically what I do is brand management, and I'm also one of the co-directors. Basically, I handle the camera around, but I also make sure that we're staying on our brand standards whenever we're out there shooting.
Okay.
So shooting music videos, I gotta get in touch with a lot of these artists, probably through Instagram or Twitter, and then once I meet up with them, we get a song set, we get a date, and then I usually go out, write for it, shoot, come back, edit, and then release the full project.
Okay. What is your brand?
So our brand is LKS Visuals. It's a umbrella name for right now for a lot of the different projects that we do. But for right now, what we're doing is we're just shooting very, I would say, low budget but high quality videos for local artists out there, mainly in the Spartanburg and Charlotte areas.
Okay. Is there something specific that you guys do? Like, do you guys stick to just one job for the business, or is it all kind of just like a joint work?
It's kind of all joint. It's all together. We have a team of about 6 or 7 people, so we all kind of trade off on the different jobs as far as lighting and making sure all the sets are set up and everything is where it needs to be. But generally, he stays with talking to the people and brand management as well as artist management, and I'll stay on the more editing side, kind of lower down.
Okay. Where did you learn to film and edit?
So I actually learned to film and edit here on Sony Vegas. And basically what I started doing here was like kind of trying to add my own little flair to the different projects that we were given. But he actually has a way bigger experience than I do editing because of his past.
I don't have any. I don't film generally. I just edit. So like I started editing 8 years ago in Adobe After Effects. Since then, I've learned how to use Adobe Premiere, Cinema 4D, Element 3D, and After Effects. And I'm just trying to learn, different programs as I go on.
Okay. Did you learn a lot from him when you first met each other and started the business?
Early on, filming, I learned a lot from him as far as camera settings, because I didn't know anything about camera settings. I knew how to edit with certain camera settings and frame rates, but other than that, I didn't know anything about cameras.
Okay.
Yeah, and from him, I kind of learned style because I'm more of a stationary kind of filmmaker, and through watching him with the camera, I kind of learned to kind of be more free-flowy. So even now, where we started trying to be very standard in the way that we shoot, we've actually learned to kind of open up our more creative sides and try to be, I would say, explorative with our camera angles, so that way people can kind of see the other sides of our artists that most videographers aren't going to capture.
Okay. I'm going to go back for a sec. You said here is where you learned a lot of stuff. Do you mean Gaston College and the broadcast program?
Yes, ma'am. I was actually, when I started over here, it was by accident because I was going to school to be a teacher. And I took this class because I loved film, and I just figured it'd be kind of like a cool place to learn the basics of work around the camera. And through Miss Carmody and Mr. Mayer, I kind of learned how to basically work a camera, because before then I was kind of like a hit record and see what happens kind of guy. And they kind of brought it down and honed me to the filmmaker that I am today.
Okay. What is your overall goal on how you want to grow and expand your brand?
I just want to get to a point where I'm able to make the projects that we want to make and put out, instead of doing work for other people. Because in this job, what we do now, a lot of people give us freedom to write our own treatments, to make our own stories with it. And I like that, so I want that to continue. I don't really have an interest in turning into anything that we have to do work on projects that we don't like ourselves.
Do you, in the end, do you want to be working for, major artists?
One thing that we pride ourselves on is not really working with major artists, but we kind of want to be on the new wave of the new artists that are coming in.
Okay.
So we receive, I would say, 10 to 20 emails or DMs or direct messages a day of local artists trying to work with us. And what we try to do is we try to filter it out so that way we can see, well, who's on the up and up, like who is everybody going to try to be listening to, because
Yeah.
we want to be on that foreground. Charlotte doesn't really have that big of a film scene in such places like Los Angeles or New York. So we're trying to basically start something here so that way the kids who do come up, they don't have to go far from home to, get famous. They can stay right in their hometown, and they'll have, that jumping ground to launch off of.
Yeah. Where do you see your brand or yourselves in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, I really don't see us. I see us getting bigger, as in like our production and studio wise. But I feel like we'll most likely stay home because that's one of our biggest things is working with local artists. And one thing I've talked to him before is I don't want to move away from our roots, because I feel like when you get separated from your roots, you kind of lose the style and the flavoring of your hometown.
Yeah.
I'd like to do the same thing, but take a different take on it. I would like to take, and within this next 5 years, find time to travel to areas where things are a little bit more popular in this industry and try and bring that back to Charlotte.
Okay. Where can we find your guys' work, and how can viewers get in touch with you?
So you guys can look us up on Instagram. It'll be at LKS Visuals. Same thing as on YouTube. Basically, we put all of our content on our YouTube page. We have our edits, which are little side projects, kind of just to keep us in frame, and so that way we can kind of still have fun with our shooting. And all of that will be on our Instagram, and it drops sporadically. So keep an eye out.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.